Yo guys, welcome to this video. Thank you for watching. This video will be going over the failure uniform. So this will be considered the failure uniform, meaning the traits of the clients we see that join this program and our previous programs, and really what they have in common when they succeed or when they don't succeed, right? It's kind of like a recurring theme that we found, right? So make sure there are no distractions and maybe pull out a pen and notepad and take notes alongside watching, right? So that's something I'd recommend you do with each video you watch in this program, and as well as what you read and or listen to, right? Especially in our coaching calls, right? This is going to be me talking. This video right here is mainly me talking into the camera from my notes, right? So I feel like that's the best way to do this because this is some real stuff, right? I want you to know that I genuinely want you to succeed. And if you find that you are relating to some of these things, you should fix it, right? Move forward and really get over that part, because you're not going to get results inside of this program unless you fix those things. So that's really what this video is about. It's what not to do and who not to be to succeed, right? It's not just about knowing what to do. So don't argue, right? It's also very important to look at the observations of those who have gone before you and avoid the things they're telling you to do, right? Things they are telling you to avoid. I mean, if you look at the clients that have succeeded in this program, every single one of them understood the importance of the ideas I'm about to give you and implemented every single one. So I would encourage you to watch this module in full, as well as the rest of the modules, obviously, right? But this module is pretty important because it's going to help you avoid a lot of pitfalls, right? It's a lot of mental stuff, right? It's a lot of practical, tangible stuff. And I just want, to go through it today, right? So this is Prime Setter's failure uniform, right? This is the uniform that you'll wear when you walk into failure, right? Let's get right into it. So the very first one is believing that you are different, right? Believing that you are somehow different, therefore our ideas can't work for you, right? And there will be a ton of reasons as to why you might think you are different. It could be things like your skin color, your background, where you come from, your voice, and things like your accent, right? It could be all kinds of things. And I hear it all the time, right? Those have nothing to do with anything, right? They have nothing to do with your ability to succeed. So thinking I'm different because I haven't succeeded in the past, even though all these guys have, right? So therefore I'm different. No, you cannot view yourself as different, right? And frankly, seeing yourself as different is an ego thing, and you have to come to terms with that, right? That is your ego talking. That is your pride talking, right? Thinking that you are different, that somehow these guys that have gone through, the trenches themselves, that somehow you can't be helped because you're special somehow, right? One of my favorite ideas, and this is a quote I've heard, it's that I will succeed not because you know, I will succeed not because I'm special, but I will succeed because I know that I'm not, right? It forces you to do the things that work and follow in the footsteps of the people before you, right? So thinking that there's something special about you or that you bring something new to the table that we haven't seen before is just going to isolate you and keep you from getting the help that you can garner through your investment in this program, right? That means the coaching, the one-on-one time, the group calls, asking the right questions, and getting the help that you need. Thinking that you are different is the first thing, and I don't want you to think that you are. Odds are we've worked with somebody just like you, right? Next is fixating on problems that don't exist yet. A lot of people come into this program and they think it's strategy, but actually it's this stuff, fixing problems that don't exist yet. For example, if you're looking at an income mark you want to get to, and the first thing that comes to your head is, I could do that if I had something, right? Whatever that thing is, be very careful that that is something that you need, right? I would venture to say that 80 to 90% of the time, that thing that you think you need, you don't need, right? It would make you more comfortable, and you're making excuses as to why you haven't gotten there yet because you don't have that thing yet, and you're afraid ultimately of making a mess, right? Which is reasonable. I get like, but you have to be willing to push, right? And push to see what breaks, you know? And when it breaks, you fix it. And you push, see what breaks, and then you fix it over and over and over again, right? And right now, at this moment in time, I'm aiming for a certain revenue mark with this business, and the bottleneck is not anything other than me. I'm the bottleneck, right? My focus, my attention, my routines, my diligence, and my discipline. I am the problem in my business. I've searched it. I've searched in every area, and every single line draws back to me. So the problem I have to fix right now is me, right? I have to work on myself and grow and mature, right? So when you're pushing, you're growing, right? The problems you have to solve become apparent. And as a byproduct, your job, no matter the stage you're at, is to work on yourself, right? You have no excuses. Even for total introverts, you should be talking to at least 30 people a day, right? And if right now that sounds like too much, welcome to Prime Setters, right? We're going to push you, all right? Message 30 people a day minimum, right? The key to succeeding in life is relationships, and not just people who you talk to here and there. No, these are people you are actively engaging with that will benefit you in the future. You must build all types of relationships to succeed in life. This goes for business, friendships, and significant others, right? A strong network guarantees protection, support, advice, shortcuts, and more. You can doubt it, right? You can say no way, but this is not why you joined this program. So don't fix problems that don't exist yet. Next is entitlement, right? And this is a big one. Sure, you've given us a lot of money, or what you might consider a lot of money at this moment in time. And people will say, I've given you a lot of money, and say things like, I need more time. You don't. You don't need more one-on-one time. What you need to do is focus on what works. Focus on the blueprint we've given you. Your success in this program is not correlated to how much time you spend getting coached. It's not. To be frank with you, if we can define exactly what you need to do, you can get the source of value from this program, and maybe 30 minutes of getting coached, and you'd have everything that you need. Now, granted, the reason why there are so many months is so that you can have that continued feedback and the community. I think it's a very entitled thing to say, hey, I paid this much, I deserve more, right? I will kick you out, right? I could care less about the revenue from kicking you out. We need to have a community that trusts us and lets us lead. It doesn't just come in the form of how you work with us, right? It also comes in the form of your expectations. We have a lot of people say that they want something, and then we look at their actions, and their actions do not line up with what they say that they want, right? So you can't say you want something and then not put in the work to get it. It's very simple how that works. And I'm being hard on you right now because maybe you need it, right? You can't entitle your way into results. You have to put in the work, okay? I'm going to use myself as an example here, right? I've been starting businesses since the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? I spent, wasted, and lost tons of money and time before I arrived here. I then had to put in more work, you know, just to get you to pay and join this program, as well as figure out how to get you results, right? That is why I'm here today, right? This is why I've been able to get results in my business, in my life, right? And I'm nowhere near finished, right? I don't even think I'm touching the surface of what we're capable of, right? I don't appreciate people who say they want something and then don't put in the work to get it, right? Could you imagine if I was that way, right? You'd likely never leap to joining something like this or even take the right steps to change your livelihood, right? Okay, so entitlement means you expect something that you haven't earned. So understand that right now, you have what you have because you've earned what you have, right? What you have right now is a direct equivalent of what you've earned. Where you are right now, you don't deserve any more than where you are right now based on the actions you've put in, right? But that's the beautiful thing about a program like this. We can adjust those actions and adjust the frame of mind you come at life and business with, and put those actions in a direction that allows you to be entitled to more, right? So you are where you are right now because of the decisions that you've made, and you have to take full responsibility. Next is not thinking deeper. That's another big one, right? For example, there's a quote, and the core of the quote is methods don't matter, principles do. Right. So when you look at our methods and how we coach, we began teaching the principles behind why these things work. And that comes with time and some intuition and putting the methods into play, right? I will also say that almost any method works. You just have to actually do it and then measure it, right? So in this program, we focus a lot on mindset, clarity, and taking action, right? Yes, we share lots of strategies, methods, techniques, and more. But I think a lot of people, they try to duplicate what we say so closely, and there's no originality, right? There's no sense as to why we're doing these methods, right? There's no sense of a deeper theme, right? It's purely just, well, he told me to do this and this, so that's what I'm gonna do, right? It's extreme levels of desperation. It's like trying to mimic so closely that there's just no sense of originality. We're not telling you to be original for the sake of it. You know, I'm telling you to relate our methods to the core ideas that make them work. So, for example, we could tell you exactly what to say to get a client. And instead of looking into the deeper themes of how it works so that, you can take control and push it forward, you continue asking us for help. There's nothing wrong with asking us for help. The real power is understanding why and how these things work so that you can do them in your way, right? Take what we say and apply it to your own life, such as what we say to do, how we say to do it, and the frameworks we tell you to apply. Take them, understand them, and then apply them to you and make them work for you in a unique way that suits you, right? So you got to think about the greater themes that apply to the whole versus copying and pasting. That way, your thought process affects everything in your life and business versus just affecting one thing or the other, right? So I want you to look at the whole picture every time you make a choice or decision, right? You got to think about the micro and the macro, right? A lot of people just think micro and others just think macro. You got to have that balance. So we've seen this where people read and overthink a method forever. And when it comes to taking action and applying it, they'll just fluff the whole thing. They've got a creepy tone or a crappy tone or a way of saying things. They've got like a total lack of confidence and are just insecure. They're staying up till 3 a.m. playing video games every day. And they think that if they just say and do what we tell them, they're gonna have insane results. That's not how it works, right? So you got to think deeper about these things. Do you understand? Men and women want to be around people they like and admire. Even in business, people want to do business with people whom they admire and whom they see as a leader that can help them. You have to lean into that role as a powerful person entirely. It's not just about knowing what to say or knowing what to do. That's good. It's important stuff, but you got to be a leader. You have to be a leader. You must take charge of your life. And that's the bigger call we're bringing you to in this program. Next, and this is a big one, socializing, right? When you join our community, I want to encourage you to connect with people, make friends, and ask questions about everything, right? Get their viewpoints and more, right? I want you to balance that against actually, putting in the work and doing the things we're telling you to do. If all you do is connect with people inside of this program and you never do any of the work, that's not going to work, right? It feels like fake work. It feels validating and fun, and it kind of fills the void for a minute. Then you realize you're not going to work. You're not doing any work. So you just connect with someone, right? This is a valuable thing to do. Don't get me wrong. Meeting people, asking questions and sharing insights like that is one of the pillars of the value that we have as a community. But don't replace putting in the work and applying certain frameworks to your life. Next is signal versus noise. Let me summarize what this means. So a lot of people, they like to do everything at once, right? They focus on the perfect daily schedule, making lots of money, talking to multiple people, going out every day, eating out every day, going to the gym every day, and whatever else. And it's just too much. They'll fill the gap of not doing the work and not getting results with added projects and functions inside of their lives or projects that don't move the needle forward and get the results. The value that you're getting in this program is just repeated actions that work. So look at actions that work and then repeat them over and over and over again. That's all. So you figure out one thing that works so that you can bolt it in. And then you make sure it's as tight as possible. It's as tight as it can get. And that it just functions as much as it can, right? And then you go and do another thing. Just figure out things that work for you and just bolt them in over and over again. So the signal is doing that. The noise is trying everything and anything. And if something doesn't work for the first week or even the first month, you give up and you go and try something else, right? No, you must understand that behavior reflects in your life and in everything that you do. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's like saying you are a professional kickboxer, but you don't practice every day, right? Lazy in one thing is lazy in everything. This also goes for business and relationships. The behavior of moving from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing reflects everywhere. People will notice it. You won't be able to focus. People won't want to be around you because you're interchanging constantly. You bounce from thing to thing, emotion to emotion, and you're not consistent in anything. Signal versus noise means doing the things that work. You know, it's almost like tuning a radio, right? You get the reception from a certain radio station. You can hear that signal. The noise is just the sound that you get when it's not playing anything, right? So make sure that your actions tune into what works, and that the only way to do that is really just to commit, to one way of doing things for 30, 60, or 90 days, right? See what happens and then adjust either daily or weekly or monthly, right? Just look at what's working and adjust over and over again. Next is wanting to look figured out and not admitting that you need help. This is another big one, right? I know you've just joined the program, and man, look, I don't care if you want to look cool. Your job is to get help. And if you're stuck, tell us. That is the dumbest thing you can do, right? You come into this program, you get a quick win, and then you ghost us, right? We're here to help you, and we know how to do this stuff, right? I know how to do this stuff. My team knows how to do this stuff. A lot of people in our community know how to do this stuff. So if you're trying to look cool, trust me, not only do we see it, but also it doesn't help you. So not only are you lying to yourself, but you're also just slowing down the process of growth, right? You also look a little stupid. It just looks a little dumb. So if you're stuck, let us know. Or if you're having a win, let us know. We have to know where you are for us to help you. Raw avoidance and just not checking in, not sharing wins, not sharing losses, and not making use of your investment is pointless. People will join and they wanted some high to come in the first 24 hours. And if they didn't get it, or because it didn't feel like a shot of adrenaline shot up into their veins, they're all of a sudden like, well, it's just a decent thing. Like, no, that is not what this is at all. Okay. We know how to help you. And if you want short-term wins, go somewhere else. We can give you short-term wins, but we're here for the short and long term. I prioritize the long term, and that's why you see us making long-term decisions for ourselves and our clients. It's just how it is. People will avoid or they'll ghost or whatever. You can't expect results doing that. That's entitlement. Another one is envy. You envy people in our community who are succeeding, right? What's interesting about envy is it's not desire. Envy doesn't mean you want something. It just means that you're jealous of somebody else that has it, right? Which is not desire, by the way. Let's say you're a guy and there's a girl that you like and she's dating somebody else, right? And you're just jealous that, and this is insecurity. It's pouring out of you, and the girl can tell, right? It's the least attractive thing you can do. Other people respond in the same way. Life responds in the same way. Insecurity as a whole, people do not respond well to it. Even we won't respond very well to it. If you're freaking out and saying, I see him doing it and I'm so frustrated because I just know that I'm better than them, right? And I know that I could do it. It's like, no, man. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do it? Don't use dark energy of envy and jealousy. Use light energy of what you want and why you want it. Envy does not help. Envy and jealousy are not good. And it might not even be somebody in our community. It could even be somebody outside. It could be some influencer or somebody who is doing well. Let go of it, man. Let go of it. You got to understand, if you are a shining light of an example of another leader, they'll want to be around you. That's the cool thing about this, is everybody wins. That's where true friends and loyalty come in. So don't envy, but be inspired by people, and be excited by people. Ask and say, if they can do it, why can't I? Aim to get to that place in your head, because envy does not help you. Envy only hurts you, and it also makes you subconsciously tell yourself that you're not worthy of those things, that you're not worthy of that type of success, and you're envious of the success. The only place where you can be envious is if you are not worthy, right? Since you haven't done it yourself, you envy others. Envy just shoves the brakes on your operations and just slows everything down. So get rid of envy, right? The way you get rid of envy is not just by not being envious, but by literally saying, wow, I'm so impressed and so grateful that I even know somebody that is doing that, who I can learn from. And then I can also do it myself, right? That's how you have to think. It's not, oh, they did it, I can't believe they're doing that. I'm not comparing or getting insecure. None of that. No, we're blessed to live in a time where all of this is possible. That's the core. The fact that I can do this right now, the fact that I'm recording this video that will go into our program and maybe YouTube and add more value to you guys, and then I get to make money doing all of this, it's insane how blessed we all are to be born into these times. It's insane to me that I can do what I do. It's insane, and I'm blessed, by it. And I started off looking at people and being envious. I'll admit I was the same way, but it didn't serve me. I had to stop seeing them as weird objects and had to start seeing them as people that have put in the work that I want to put in. Reach out, get to know them, get their help, whatever, and just learn and grow. You got to think. You got to think about who you can learn from, who can help you, who would be a meaningful connection, and more, right? That's how I got started. You can win in life regardless of what you sound like or look like. It's a false belief. Where you lack, you make up with other great attributes. So that's the failure uniform. Don't do these things and you'll be much more likely to succeed. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this module and just shed some light on a few things for you. And hopefully, you took some notes and you've got some work to do, mainly on yourself, on your brain, or on other areas of your life. I'm not sure, but I hope that this was a valuable one for you. Again, I don't want to say thank you for joining our program. I want to thank you for believing that you deserve more. I'm incredibly excited to have you here and to help you succeed and become a growth specialist and truly master lead generation without needing to go through any other courses or programs out there, right? So welcome to Prime Setters. I'll see you in our calls.